Hey yo, what is up? What is good? Ghost Squad, how y'all doing? Today, I am here to watch something that is called the darkest kids TV show ever made. And this is from Nick Crowley. So, never seen it before, but I saw this in a recommendation and I was like, darkest kids TV show. So I'm curious about this, honestly, because I don't know. I haven't really. It's been a while since I've seen like disturbing or like dark videos and all that. So we'll just jump into this, y'all. Enjoy. Probably enjoy. Don't know how. Wait, what did I just say? Topics includes abuse, incest. Sam? I don't even know what that means, but I know what incest means.
It's the winter of 1985. A family living in a remote region of the Philippines receives a package at their door, which contained a single VHS tape and a note stating that the contents were for the children of the house. And so, the kids were gathered up one by one and sat in front of the television, where the tape began to play, introducing them to a brand new show called
Life with Grandpa.
Life with Grandpa. This was the experience for hundreds of kids across the world, made to watch a seemingly harmless puppet show about a grandpa and his family, with most of the young viewers loving it, gladly watching this episode and the many others that would be sent later on, over and over again, blissfully unaware that what they were being shown would someday come to be known as one of the most disturbing rabbit holes in the history of children's media. This is the story of Life with Grandpa, the darkest kids show ever made.
Nothing can harm you when Jesus is near.
Dad, I don't want you to leave.
Can I persuade you to subscribe?
Before we dive any further down this rabbit hole, I want to first thank today's video sponsor, Saley. Throughout my life, I've taken countless to going. The roaming charges literally cost me waste another incredibly easy to use Saley app works for you. Crowley off at checkout in the app and having a SIM card at your destination second of your trip. This is also way safer than having
a fellowship dedicated to sharing.
She loved to play on the steep hillside. Life with Grandpa, won't you come on?
This supposed to be disturbing, so I'm kinda
This is Life with Grandpa, a straight-to-VHS show made for children created sometime in the mid-80s. The program followed a family of humanoid puppets on their journey to teach the audience lessons loosely based on Christianity, through the use of stories, skits, and songs, acting as a guide for children to live their best possible lives for Jesus.
We're continuing with some more lessons about prayer. Are you all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lord. Such sweethearts.
The show was set up in an episodic fashion, never following any main overarching storyline, and instead, each installment would be composed of a series of shorter segments, recounting past experiences from this family, with an occasional musical number thrown in here and there.
We don't have a sad God. We have a happy God who wants us to be happy too.
Unsurprisingly, the main character of the crew was Grandpa, who acted as the show's host, often being the one to teach the episode's central messages not only to his on-screen family, but to all the kids watching at home.
But it's my kite.
But wouldn't you like to pray that some poor little boy who doesn't have so many toys and blessings as you do will find your kite?
Yes, Grandpa.
As he was made to be a wise, almost religious-like figure, whose words were never questioned. Often seen by his side was his wife, Mother Maria, though for as often as she's shown, she rarely has much to say.
Yes, thank the Lord for such a good, sweet boy.
I know for one fact I would not have these types of dolls that's like in the house and all that, because you don't want to see something like this in your room, and nah, I can't.
Typically only chiming in when she's reiterating Grandpa's messages to the children. And of the children, there was Davida, Techi, and Davidito, with the latter being one of the show's central figures, landing right next to or potentially even ahead of Grandpa in terms of screen time, as Davidito often got his own segments and told his own stories directly to the audience.
Hello, children.
Would you like to hear some exciting prayer adventures? This first story happened when I was very small.
And though it's never outright stated, it's clear that Davidito was put on a pedestal, with the child often getting special treatment and being showered in gifts, as the family clearly seemed to favor him.
Thank you, Uncle Al.
It's called a kite.
We want to give you a little surprise because you were such a good witness.
This brand new tape recorder is for you.
Thank you, Jesus.
With there never being an
I know
explanation
the fact
as
this
to
is
why.
like.
This is
I
the
know the
core
fact
group
this
of
is
Life
like
with
a
Grandpa, with the only other reoccurring
VHS,
characters
I
being
know it's
Aunt
gonna
Sarah
be
and
Star
Uncle
Wars.
Elf, a couple that was often shown around the house helping look after the
Aunt
kids.
Sarah, Uncle
And despite this
Elf.
looking like something pulled straight from the depths of the uncanny valley, the content within the show didn't really seem all that troublesome. In fact, it appeared fairly normal, and not too unlike the many other low-budget religious shows of the time, highlighting themes like obedience,
Nothing short of right is right.
Yes, so the right thing is...
To obey.
sharing,
Good morning, Davida. I have a surprise for you.
Oh, can I see it?
I would like to share my cars with you. Which ones do you like?
and loving everyone.
That's really sweet of you, David. Thank you for that nice, generous present.
What present?
That nice kiss. A kiss makes a real beautiful gift or present.
Though mixed within these fairly standard teachings, you'll find other moments that are far more unusual.
Okay. It's starting to get a little
Don't run down that gravel hill.
weird.
Davida! Oh, Davida.
She's bleeding, and her cut is all covered with dirt.
And I don't even have a tissue to wipe it with. I'll just have to lick it clean and spit out the dirt.
The show featured
Okay, first of all, we can carry you back and get a towel. Not gonna lick it clean and spit out the dirt. All right, it's already getting weird now. It was getting a little weird before, but now it just got weird. I'm gonna lick it clean and spit out the dirt. All right.
a lot of strange underlying themes that seem to have nothing to do with religion, or at least not the conventional beliefs of Christianity, with one of the more obvious being its unprompted disdain for doctors.
We'll have to really pray that there won't be a scar.
Soon afterwards, there was no sign at all of the deep gash on Davida's forehead. Surely a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles. Praise the Lord.
As well as its constant endorsement of spanking.
Jesus spanks us because he loves us and wants us to obey and be good.
Was he spanking? Was he what was that was he using? And Jesus spanks us because he loves us. I'm not even going to ask from that question.
We're really sorry. So if the Lord should spank you a little bit or correct you, it's for your own good. It's because he loves you and wants you to be good and obey.
And while these are certainly strange, by far the most glaring indication that Life with Grandpa wasn't just your typical kids show came from the program's stance on women, with the first major example coming from a song made for the young girls watching on.
Oh, bud.
So do the dishes and clean the floor, and God can show us something more. I'm ready for any job at all, whether it's great or whether it's small. I'm ready to go, ready to stay, ready my place to fill. Ready for service, lowly or great, ready to do God's will.
The message behind this song is clear. If you're a woman, then it's your job to cook, clean, and have babies. And that's about it, as this is God's will and your sole purpose for existing. And while this ideology was certainly not as controversial at the time, the show took it even further, as it hammered home this idea to all the children watching on by repeating one line at the end over and over again.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey, for there's no other way.
Trust and obey.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way.
Making it clear that this was a lesson that the showrunners didn't want these kids to question. But as comically offensive as this song is, it was far from the worst that the show had to offer.
Oh, no. Trust and obey. Like a cultist type. Brainwashing.
And In another episode, we're shown a musical number about Grandpa, who's portrayed as a scientist that's always busy working, though the song is really less about him and more about his love interest. A robot
whoa.
with long hair and nude female breasts. It's one of the most surreal things that I've ever seen on a kid's show, as this thing was clearly meant to be a portrayal of Grandpa's wife and women in general, likening them to robots. Though unlike the previous demeaning song, this number is blatantly perverted, as it not only shows the robot having breasts, but it also shows Grandpa fondling them as well. And these perversions weren't even exclusive to its imagery.
Wow.
What's in his key? And that's when she gets excited.
It's shocking for so many reasons, but mainly due to the fact that this was on a show that was literally made for toddlers and young children, who are now being shown this clearly explicit content. And most disturbing of all is the realization that this sexualized material was actually nothing new to the world of Life with Grandpa. Predating the puppets, there was a little-known illustrated book series called Life of Grandpa, with the show practically being a shot-for-shot remake of this book series, featuring the same exact characters and stories. And much like the show, the series was also a religious guide created for children. In its pages, you'll find themes about morality and lessons made to guide you towards a proper way of living through this religion. But these books also had a very apparent dark side, one far worse than the show it inspired.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
In the chapter Real Fathers, we're shown a scene where Techi and Davidito question why they have two different skin colors, despite them being siblings, as Techi noticed that Davidito's skin appeared light brown, while hers was almost pure white, to which Grandpa then explains to them how his wife and their mother had slept with other men. See, God used Timothy and Carlos only to fuck mama so that I could have you both. They were just like an instrument or tool that Jesus used to help create you wonderful little children for his kingdom. Praise the Lord. This was followed by an in-depth explanation of what that scene looked like, including images depicting the act.
Whoa. Alright. Whoa. You telling this to your telling this to kids? You know the alright. Yep, I already know. Okay, so Darkest Kids TV show. A ding dong is like a plow and a woman's womb is like a furrow, in which the man plants the seed. Wow, that's what he's teaching the kids, huh? Like a garden.
Examples like this are prevalent all throughout the pages of Life with Grandpa, with erotic material being shown constantly with no regard as to how inappropriate this is to be showing kids. Which begs the obvious question, why? Why was Life with Grandpa so blatantly perverted? Well, the answer lies with the author of the books, and the reason for the show's existence. David Berg.
Oh no.
He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. That's when Jesus is going to come back, to rapture his saints, to gather them together.
Born in 1919, David grew up a devout believer in Christianity, but wanted something more from the religion. He dreamed of one day starting his own group with his own teachings, and in 1968, at the ripe age of 50, he decided it was time to do just that.
At the rape age of 50. Not just the age of 50, the rape age of 50. Wow. I don't believe this. At the rape age of 50.
The group began in Huntington Beach, California, and went by many names over the years, like Teens for Christ, the Children of God, the Family of Love, the Family International, or just the Family. But regardless of its name, there was no denying what this group was. A cult. A cult led by David Berg. Berg would find young hippies and those struggling with drug addiction and mental health issues, and convince them to join his group by stating that the end of the world was coming soon, and that they needed to follow in his path and join his family to save their souls. It was pretty standard cult ideology, but at the time it was extremely effective, with the sect amassing a staggering 10,000 members at its peak, and at first, David got by with fairly standard teachings from the Bible, although this wouldn't last. After some time, Berg began addressing his followers via frequent illustrated messages called Mo letters that featured his ramblings and teachings from the time, with Berg slowly ingraining into his members that the contents of these letters should be taken as seriously, if not more so, than the Bible. In one of these letters sent out in 1972, Berg claimed that God was going to destroy the United States and that the group needed to flee the country immediately, with Berg demanding that his followers spread out all across the globe and open up communal homes where members could live as one, far away from the public eye. As a result, many members packed up their things and left right away, leading to roughly 130 communities being established across 70 different countries, essentially overnight. This mass migration had an extremely significant impact on the family, as it left practically the entire group outside of the United States, and more importantly, outside of the United States jurisdiction, meaning that Berg could now get away with far more than he used to. And unsurprisingly, this is where he began to tighten his control.
Oh boy. A sex
The full-time members were made to
tyranny.
give up all of their earthly possessions to the group and cease all contact with their family and friends who were non-believers, cutting them off from the outside world completely. And these restrictions also applied to the media they consumed.
I decided I would limit how much I would watch the TV. Cause now I've got the answer. It's the slave, I'm the master. It no longer has a spell on me.
In his teachings, Berg denounced all forms of entertainment made outside of the cult, since he believed that this would poison the minds of his members and potentially sway them into leaving the group. And so, instead, he insisted that his followers only consume media that was produced directly by the family, with these works often being created by Berg himself or the other followers he enlisted, and then shipped directly to the members' homes, leading to hundreds if not thousands of videos, movies, and TV shows being produced and shared among the family. But for Berg, this wasn't just about providing entertainment. It was really all about controlling the minds of his group, and even more importantly, indoctrination, with his primary targets being children.
Oh no.
From birth, most kids were not shown any media other than what the cult gave their parents, with these works quite literally shaping their minds into following everything that the cult believed in without question. The main themes of these were usually things like always be happy,
more than 70 little muscles form a round.
Like everything is a trap nowadays.
Some muscles put a smile in its place on your face.
always show love,
There's no way.
and never, under any circumstances, question your parents.
Always best to do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Trust, obey, and do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. 'Cause Daddy knows best.
And Life with Grandpa was no exception, as it too was created by the family in order to instill their beliefs into its child viewers, with the line trust and
This man
obey
was
being
secretly
hammered
taking over
home
the
time
world.
and time again, as those creating the programs didn't want their kids questioning any of the practices, and so they were teaching them to simply smile along and trust the adults. But because the group was the one producing and distributing the content, they basically had no regulations placed on them, meaning that they could include whatever they want in these shows without any repercussions, leading to many of the showrunners exploring some of the group's more controversial beliefs, which becomes extremely troublesome when you realize that the family wasn't just your standard cult, and instead, it was a sex cult.
Oh my.
When you think of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
No, like, I'm gonna say this right now. It's like, if you combine Hitler and sex, I'm calling him the Sexler, okay? He's literally a Hitler of pleasure, alright? Like, Hitler was a ruler of violence, alright? But this guy right here, he's the sexual version of Hitler. Like, oh my god. He made a sex cult, and he's focusing on children. There is no possible way that I can't say this can't be real, but seeing how this happened in the 19s and everything, that's wow. And the thing about it is, he made it look like, oh, I'm spreading love and joy and happiness to the kids and all that, and to the
What are you thinking about?
That's
you think
bad.
about a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman. And what is the first thing that a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman would, of course, naturally do as soon as they saw each other and nobody else around? I think just one look was all it took. And
David Berg was a
Massive.
deeply perverted man, The idea of sex consumed him and seeped its way into essentially all of his teachings.
I think Adam and Eve are over there behind those bushes right now, busy making, not pina colada, I think they're making some other kind of juices.
And once his followers were outside of the US, he began to preach something he called the law of love, which essentially said that the family should be showing all people love, and that love should come in the form of sex.
I practice what I preach, and I preach sex, boys.
Like,
girls, hallelujah.
And so he
everything has
told
to
his
be about
followers to
sex.
open up their relationships to outsiders, calling the practice sharing, as you were made to share your partner in the hopes of enticing new people to join the group. But he wasn't satisfied with just this, and instead he began to mandate that the women of the group participate in something he called flirty fishing. Also known as FF, flirty fishing describes the practice of women going into bars at night in order to pick up lonely men, who they would then entertain for the night. The goal of this was to convince these men to join the family, though more realistically, the goal was also to make money, as they were made to charge for their services, with the women being told to seek lonely businessmen. And this is something that Berg not only pushed heavily, but outright mandated, insisting that every woman in the group do this or face being removed from the family, even those who were married. And Berg was so serious about this that he sent every colony report forms so that they could report how much flirty fishing was being done, in order to check their statistics and make sure that they were up to par.
What?
Understandably, many women of the group were concerned by this and wanted nothing to do with it. However, most of them had moved all the way across the world and sacrificed all of their belongings to be in this group, meaning that their removal would leave them with nothing. They were trapped. Simply put, Berg was forcing the women of the group into prostitution, and he was shameless about it too, calling them God's whores and Christ's hookers. The worst of all, Berg knew that flirty fishing could put these women in grave danger, as he admitted to them that violent assaults were going to happen, but he said that if you want to live, simply don't resist. And if you do get hurt or even killed, that's entirely your fault, as after all, it was God's will. And this was on top of a myriad of other horrific things that Berg said that I can't even repeat here. But the man saying all of these horrific things was the same man who wrote Life with Grandpa, and he used this medium to normalize his sex cult's beliefs for the children watching, which gives more context as to why women were portrayed in the way they were in these books and the show, as Life with Grandpa was breaking down the young girls watching and grooming them for a life of prostitution that they were made to accept without question.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey.
Though the show wasn't only for preparing the kids for the perverse lifestyles they were headed for, and instead, they were already becoming well accustomed to it.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So you became part of this cult, sex cult, and I mean, like, not only is he acting like a sex slur, combination between sex and Hitler, but now he became a pimp now, and made it to where all the women in the community, not only you're prostitutes, and you're going out gathering lonely single men, sacrificing your bodies, make them join us, and not only that, it's basically a job now, to where I need to know how many lonely men you slept with, how many lonely men you made them join us, and I mean there's a chart of this. It was a chart, like an actual business, to where our business is booming right now, to where you got this many lonely men, you got that many lonely men. I got like 40 lonely men has recruited, all because of you. Good job. I am so proud of you that you went to the bar every night and just hunting lonely single men, begging about you about wow, and making them join. Like, do a little charisma and making them join us. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Nah, son. Can you imagine this man exists to this day? He would have been assassinated ASAP. They would have put $1 million bounty on this man's head and assassinate him. There is no way in the world that you pretty much did some brainwash secret manipulation. It's like basically playing what's that old children's show? Barney. It's like playing Barney or the Teletubbies, and it's like, oh, this is the kids show. Go ahead and enjoy this and trust and obey, saying it over and over again. And you know how kids are. They listen to stuff like this. They look at TV shows and they be doing the exact same thing they see on television. They be saying, oh, try this at home, and yet they still do. Trust and obey. Trust and obey. Trust and obey. Trust and obey. Like, you wouldn't even think about it like that, but the moment you hear it a little bit more, like, wait a minute. Trust and obey? What kind of song is this? You would think it's not even that serious, but it actually is. This man, at the rape age of 50. The rape age of 50. Not the age, this man turned 50 and it's like, you know what? I feel like raping people. And not just people. I feel like going after kids. Like, I mean, he's building a secret community and it's slowly expanding. And now they got it to where the women who didn't want to do it, they trapped. And now they're growing accustomed to it. Oh. Nah.
Throughout his Mo letters, Berg also began to preach that children should be involved in these affairs and sharing as well, stating that he believed age should have nothing to do with it. In fact, he believed that children should be taught about this lifestyle essentially as soon as they're born. And although...
Oh no, 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 no. Alright. And this, look, I'm not even done with this video, y'all. I'm not even done with this. I want you to understand, I am not done with this video. I want you to understand that sentence, what he said right there, that was already the done deal to where this video it's already got to its darkest. This is like the darkest moment right here, and I'm not even halfway done with this. This man said, the moment the kid is born, teach them about sex. Doesn't even matter how old they are. They're gonna be sex property now. All right, they're gonna be sex property now. There's no way. Oh God, I got a headache from that. I got a headache from that, y'all. That gave me a legit headache.
Again, I can't read his exact words on this. Berg had to...
No. I wanna just read. I wanna read this. It says, I hope all of our young kids have plenty of sex. I hope they won't have all those frustrations from sex deprivation demanded by the system. It's a perfectly normal appetite. It's a perfectly normal appetite like any other appetite. Like, bro, I get that intimacy is a good thing, but don't go after kids that about to get born. Like, once they get born, what? Why did the Lord make you able to have children at the age of 11, 12, and 13? If you weren't supposed to... I got a headache. I'm not gonna say I feel sick, I just got a headache. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. When I read this, the darkest kids TV show ever made, I did not think that, okay, maybe you're procrastinating. Maybe you're over exaggerating and everything to where, oh, this is the darkest video you'll ever see in your life, right? Yes, we've seen all that before, right? We've heard it all. But out of all my years, I have never heard anything darker than this. That a 50-year-old man having sex with kids. Like kids that's like in elementary school. I mean, I could now look, I will understand perfectly to where, okay, he's going after college kids or something. Okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Because it's college kids. They're like over 18 years old. Sure. But you're going after someone's toddler. You're going after someone's toddler that is still learning words. Who the are you to go after that? Why don't you go to a hooker bar or something? What they call those? Bunny ranch or something. Why don't you go over there and have your fun over there? But no, you want to go after someone's kid.
And I can't read his exact words on this. Berg had declared open season on pedophilia, and much like flirty fishing, it was mandatory. The abuse that followed is unimaginable, at a scale far too large to fully know to this day. Abuse that the parents of the children not only allowed, but often participated in, with one of the more notorious large-scale accounts coming from something that the group called the Love Video.
The Love?
This movie was a result of Berg sending out requests to all of the parents to send him lewd.
I want y'all to understand, this man right here legitimately looks like Santa Claus, but in the darkest version ever. Like, we all know Santa Claus, right? Ho ho ho! Delivering presents to the good boys and girls, right? But no, this man right here is the dark version of Santa Claus. He's delivering the worst kind of present to the young boys and girls in the world. The worst present ever. And the worst part about this is, get used to it.
To send him lewd videos of their children dancing, which he not only took for himself, but packaged together into a long-form compilation video that was then distributed to all of the cult's members, encouraging the others to film similar content, with Berg going as far as creating a guide to help create the perfect video. And not only did many parents go along with this, but many clearly enjoyed it.
What?
Shared with us the video that just came from World Services, and it was so inspiring.
Shadow,
so
how you doing, huh? Yeah, welcome to the darkest video ever.
And for this couple specifically, this wasn't the only order that they were happily following.
And it was really a blessing too for Joe and Hobo, because they had a good chance to share also with Sally. Amen. And so the Lord's really setting us freer and freer to obey and to be free and to show that sample of freedom and love to the world.
I'm sorry, am I tripping? So you're telling me that you, the parents, are enjoying seeing other parents' kids making naked videos of them dancing. And not only that, why don't we make a compilation of this and send it to the head honcho while he's, I'm guessing, jacking on to it? Or wait, maybe even more disturbing than that, probably having sex with someone else's kid while that video is happening. Like, oh my God. Wow. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. I don't fucking believe this. You telling me your parents are enjoying this because this man has put words into your scrawny ant-sized brain that the world's coming to an end. If you want to survive, join the family and do exactly what I say, because rule number 1, trust and obey. I would rather jump into a volcano. At least I know it's a quick death for me. At least I know I'm free.
Life with Grandpa was literally created to indoctrinate kids into a pedophilic sex cult, and it makes you realize why exactly it and so many other of the cult's programs were hammering home this point of not questioning your parents or any adults, and to simply obey and smile.
So the right thing is
to obey.
No.
Because the adults in their lives were now suddenly doing unimaginable things to them, and they were being groomed not to question it, making some of the show's segments horrendous in hindsight.
One very special way you can show the big people that you love them is by giving them lots of hugs, kisses, and cuddles. Oh, a child's love and affection really encourages and inspires the big people.
It was normalizing their abuse, and because of this, many children never questioned the horrible assaults that they endured. Assaults that were all fueled and pushed by David Berg's sick perversions.
God created boys and girls able to have children by about the age of 12 years.
That is the face of a man that enjoys raping children. Look at that face. That's the face of a man to where, yo, I got laid. Oh, really? What's her name? Oh, her name was Sarah. Oh, cool. How old was she? 12 years old. And with a smile on his face. He's saying that with a smile on his face. No stuttering at all, just straight up. Hey, I had sex with a 12-year-old. It was awesome. I'm about to do it again like tomorrow. Like, bruh. Like, you have to have no shame at all to say something like that without a second thought, with a smile on your face. That is a... And the thing that the kids are getting assaulted, and they have to just, like I said, go with it. Deal with it. Because it's part of your life now. It's normal now to get assaulted by a 50-year-old man. It's like let this run through your veins. It is normal to get assaulted, to get raped by a 50-year-old man. Tell me if that makes sense to y'all. It's normal. Since you're part of the family now, it's normal to get violated by a 50-year-old man. You haven't even gone out of your diapers yet, and you're getting violated by a whole demonic Santa Claus, by a raping Santa Claus. I call him the Rape Claus. The Rape Claus. That's his nickname that I'm giving him.
Years of age. My God, now he's gonna advocate child and sex. Yes.
Which were far from theoretical, as Berg himself allegedly partook in this practice repeatedly with his own children and stepchildren, as incest was also a key point of his teachings, and his adult followers rarely dared to question this, as those who refused to partake in Berg's latest teachings were again at risk of removal from the group, which is even more devastating for those who had children, as much like all of their possessions, their kids were pledged and belonged to the family. And the kids themselves couldn't seek help either, as those that refused to trust and obey were sent away to actual prison camps owned by the cult until they were basically reprogrammed.
They made camps. I was sent with my brother to the Philippines. We had armed guards from the Filipino military keeping us in. They would publicly beat you if you asked to leave, then try to break you and get you to confess.
And the group continuously got away with this too, thanks in large part to Berg's orchestration of the group leaving the United States, which looking back was almost certainly done on purpose. Plus, many members were actually living in hiding. In fact, all of the members were made to change their names upon joining the group, and most were told to never give out their last names, meaning that if any child wanted to report that it happened to them, they would be unable to provide even the names of their abusers. And this included Berg too, who at this point lived most of his life in hiding, going by numerous aliases to avoid detection, aliases like King, Moses, Mo, Dad, and eventually Grandpa.
Oh my God. This man had a whole Russian prison camp. And if you try to ask to leave, you get beaten senseless. And then we're gonna break you until you become part of us. Nah, man. Y'all, I think this guy's worse than Hitler. I think this guy is legitimately worse than Hitler. At least I know Hitler, yeah, he wanted to just get rid of people that was in his way. This man right here wants to screw any kid in his path, in his sight. Like the moment I see a mother and an infant, oh, I'm about to get a piece of that. Oh, you're pregnant? Oh, well, I'll wait till you till you push that baby out, and I'm take that kid with me, and you as well. Like, nah. He changed his name, King Moses Mo Graham.
The entire show was about him, David Berg, which is why he was shown as a wise, unquestioned religious-like figure who the children were made to look up to. And that wasn't all, as the characters shown alongside Berg were also members of his real-life family that lived with him in a remote commune. Mother Maria was the nickname of Karen Zerby, David's wife who helped him run the cult and facilitate this era of hypersexualization, while Aunt Sarah was based on Sarah Kelly, the woman in charge of running the prison camp made to punish the kids who dared question the family's beliefs.
Sarah Kelly, who was responsible for me being held against my will in the Philippines.
But the most grotesque detail to come from the revelation of who these characters are was that it showcased David Berg's polygamy, as he was actually married to many people in the real world, and 2 characters on the show itself, Mother Maria and Davida, his then 5-year-old stepdaughter.
What?!
Davida would eventually go on to tell her story, stating that she had been Berg's child bride.
And there was a ceremony with the ring and everything, and once I turned 5 years old was when I was implicated into being one of his queens, so to speak.
Along with allegations that she had been victimized by him countless times. And she wasn't the only victim of Berg's perversions.
5 years
Tetchy
old.
was often sexualized by Berg publicly, with Berg having stories made and illustrated depicting his fantasies about her when she was just a child. On top of this, numerous people within the group also claimed that she had been outright assaulted by the hands of Berg, as well as many others in the group.
And look at our pretty, pretty girls today. You're dressed in such nice dresses and your hair looks so nice. Yes, you look so pretty for all the children that are watching today.
The context of who these characters are makes this already disturbing show that much more sickening. But of all of the horrible stories to come from the real-life characters of Life with Grandpa, there's one that is far and away the most horrific. The story of Davidito.
Oh no.
David is such a handsome boy, isn't he, girls? Would you like for David to share some more lessons?
Yes, Grandpa.
Are you all ready? Okay, David, you have the floor.
His real
Man, I know I'm not the only one that's thinking that, bro. The moment I see you, even if, like, the moment I see you, I'm just gonna attack you on sight. Like, I'm gonna grab a blunt object and just commit a crime. Like, bro, I may be going to jail, but at least I saved a lot of kids' lives right now. This man right here, this man, chat, this motherfucker right here, legitimately, and it said incest too. So so it gave me a warning that it's gonna involve within the family intimacy, but not just. This is like he is the origin of the word rape. He is the origin. He is legitimately the origin of rape, y'all. All right, he like for real. He is the origin of rape, the origin of pedophile. Okay, he's the origin of this. Like, I don't know who started it all, but this guy right here, he has won the trophy of being a pedophile, of like the highest degree, like undisputed champion of raping children.
real name was Ricky Rodriguez, and as a baby, he was taken in as Berg's son following Maria conceiving him with a man after a night of flirty fishing. And being David's first son, he was given the nickname Davidito. As for David Berg, he viewed this child as essentially a messiah. He began telling his followers that Davidito would one day save them from the apocalypse, causing Davidito to become a celebrity within the group, and worshipped as a religious figure when he was just a baby. Which explains why he was given so much airtime during Life with Grandpa, and why he was constantly being showered with gifts.
We want to give you a little surprise because you were such a good witness.
And for David and Karen, they wanted Davidito's life and childhood to be a guide for all members of the group, as they raised him in what they believed to be the perfect manner for a godly household. And so the couple and several other contributors documented the way he was raised, with daily journal entries that were published as weekly newsletters, and eventually turned into one massive book titled The Story of Davidito. And the family truly believed that this over 700-page book was the ultimate guide for parenting and showed the only proper way to raise a child. Though what it actually showed was just how badly Davidito was being abused. Davidito is described laying next to his nude nannies, witnessing orgies involving his own mother, and being touched sexually by the adults around him, with these examples being presented through not only written stories, but actual photographs, with the adults involved having their faces removed and drawings placed over the top of them in order to hide their identities.
Wow.
The book was not only promoting acts with children, but it was outright showing it, and showing it happen to Davidito. And because of this, we have a daily journal entry of all the abuse that this child suffered, starting when he was an infant. Despite all the heinous acts that had been going on within the family, they had up until this point gone virtually unchecked by the public eye. But the story of Davidito would prove to be the first domino to fall, as the book leaked to the press.
Tonight, the cult Children of God, founded by Moses David Berg, he reportedly sanctioned sex among children.
This immediately became a news story all across the world, and it
Like,
began shining a
sex
light on the family
trafficking,
and its
but
twisted
no.
beliefs. But despite all the constant news
Well,
coverage, and the story of Davidito being tangible proof of the cult's
1,000
horrible
children in the
practices,
evil trap.
there was still essentially nothing done to stop them, as very few arrests were ever made as a result, and even fewer resulted in convictions. So nothing was ever done to help Davidito. And so during his entire childhood and his early adult years, he stayed with the group. Though the older he got, the more he began to see the family for what they really were, and the constant pain that he was experiencing eventually made him want to just run away from it all. And so, in 1999, that's exactly what he did, fleeing to the United States in the hopes of starting a new life. Though this was easier said than done, and no amount of distance was enough to keep him away from his tortured past. At one point during his time in the United States, Ricky actually opened up about the struggles he was experiencing on a website made for survivors of the family. And there, he documented just how bad things really were for him and several others behind the scenes, living with Berg, appropriately titling the post, Life with Grandpa. It was apparent that he was haunted by this life that he tried to escape, as the trauma was an everyday cycle of hell, and he just couldn't take it anymore.
You know, I have to feel, I mean, you have to feel extremely bad for him, because as a kid, like as a newborn practically, you're being violated by adults, and just like I mean, like, what goes on through your head knowing that I'm now getting older and I'm seeing and reading everything that happened to me? Like, bro, you would have like tried to get rid of them or something. You would have tried to at least like hunt them down or something, because something like that you can't just let go. That's something you would not let go, and I would not let that go. I wouldn't. I mean, exposing them, yeah, sure, but remember, they can change. So just in case I know your name, I can just change it, so you won't even know who I am. Plus, like I got multiple people that I could just go to here and there. Okay, so it's like, bro, like underground type thing, man. Even if he moved away, something like that, you can't let it go. You can't get that out of your system like that. This was years of violation, years of just straight up abuse. Like, I can't.
You know that sometimes the Lord likes to test our faith, to teach us patience, and to really make us pray? This is just what happened to me once.
Well, hey everyone. I want people to know that even though some of the things that I'm going to try to do are rather shocking and maybe not right in a lot of people's books, I want to explain some of the reasons behind it.
On January 7th, 2005, Ricky Rodriguez set up a video camera in his apartment and expressed his desire to kill his mother and other leaders of the group for all the dreadful things that they had done not only to him, but to all the other children, with his hope being that this would finally bring down the family once and for all.
Yes.
My goal is to get those sick bucks, Ma and Peter, and, then I can go to the next life knowing that, that I made a difference.
With Ricky going as far as to show off the various ways that he planned on torturing them.
I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here. Got lots of fucking duct tape.
God knows, He hears, He cares. He loves His girls and boys. He gives His very best to those
weapons.
who let Him
He is
choose
ready
the toys.
for vengeance, and I do not blame him.
By this point, David Berg had been dead for years, though the family carried on with his mother, Karen Zerby, assuming full control, which explains why she was the primary target. And much like Berg, Karen spent most of her life in hiding, with Ricky being unable to track her down, though he was able to find Angela Smith, one of the nannies responsible for raising him, as well as one of his most prominent abusers, as she was even shown in the story of Davidito assaulting him. At this point, Ricky was exhausted, and Angela was his last shot at getting intel to help him find his mother and finally carry through on his plans. And so, he invited her over for dinner, under the guise of rejoining the group.
I went home that night and tried to wait patiently for the next day.
Okay.
But the Lord still had more lessons that He wanted to teach me.
Can you blame
This
him?
is what happened.
Before Ricky could even get the information he was looking for, something in him snapped, and midway through their conversation, Ricky grabbed a knife and stabbed Karen in the arm, and then slit her throat. He fled the area that night, driving for hours until he reached California, the place that years before David Berg had started the family. There, he called his ex-wife, professing to everything he did, saying that he did it mainly for his sister Techi, but he felt no better. In fact, he felt worse. And even looking back at the video, it's very obvious that this was something that Ricky didn't truly want to do, and instead he felt like he had to do it, to avenge everyone that the family had hurt.
I don't blame him. I really don't.
I don't know how to fucking do this. I don't want to fucking do this. God damn it.
And it was too late to take back what he did. And so he stopped the car in a dark parking lot, sat there for a moment thinking about everything that had happened during his painful life, and ended his suffering once and for all.
No, I want to talk about that. I don't blame him. I legitimately don't blame him for doing that because, first of all, because I'm thinking like, no, you're going to have to get them back. You're going to have to hunt them down. Even though the rape clause is gone and all that, mother's still there. No, she's still breathing. You got to stop her from breathing. So the fact that he did that, well, what you did was basically, you did God's work, man. Okay? Can you imagine how many children you have saved? Even though he killed her and all that, and there's still other community, the multiple communities of them out there, it's like, yeah, you cut the head off the snake, but there's hundreds more heads there. So it's like, what can you... he did it, and he did it, okay? He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. And he had to do it for a very damn good reason. You can't tell me that, oh, he shouldn't have done that. No. For what I've just witnessed, that couldn't be any more of a good reason to put an end to it.
I mean, in a way, that's what these fuckers have done to us. Didn't actually, grab a knife and cut us up, but man, they sure fucked up our brains. That's the way it was at Grandpa and Mama's house. Literally or figuratively, they're going down. So, with that happy thought, I shall leave you.
He had all types of weapons, okay? He was armed. He was ready.
Ricky Rodriguez's death was devastating for the community of survivors of the family, and it caused shockwaves all throughout the family itself, as his final video was plastered all over the news. And though it didn't happen in the way he expected it or wanted it to, Ricky's life and death undoubtedly contributed to the decline of the family, and helped diminish the cycle of abuse within the group. Starting from the story of Davidito, the public pressure forced Berg to outlaw the widespread abuse that he once preached. And though it is believed that it never really came to an end, it was at the very least significantly reduced. And by the time the news began to cover Ricky's death, it proved to be the final wake-up call for many still within the group, as they finally began to see through the facade that had once controlled their lives.
Like Grandpa says, prayer is powerful. When we pray, things will happen and things will be different.
It's difficult to watch any of Life with Grandpa, knowing its history, its purpose, and the real people that it was inspired by. Though as soon as the media began taking notice of the cult, many members were made to purge the media that was sent to them that may be considered incriminating. And as a result, it appears that most of Life with Grandpa is missing to this day, and potentially destroyed forever. Currently, only 4 episodes have been recovered, and it's not even known how many more were released, or even what year the show started or ended. But considering how closely the show mirrored the book, it's possible that these potentially missing and destroyed episodes are much worse than the ones we have today.
Yeah.
But despite not knowing the full extent of the show, it's clear that Life with Grandpa and the countless other programs that the family made did exactly what they wanted them to. They brainwashed an entire generation of the cult's children, and the effects were devastating.
Yeah.
But they become extremely agitated when we ask them
Sexually
about Moses David
devastating.
Berg's teachings on sex.
My Little Fish. Now, your father described that as a routine publication.
They're not having sex, they're just kissing and hugging in bed. That's not sex.
If you show it to other people, they don't understand. That stuff's not supposed to be publicized. So many people think sex is wrong. So many people hate us. But we're just telling them the truth. We're just telling them it's not wrong. We're just telling them that there's nothing wrong with it. And here come these publicizers doing them to everybody.
Between the strange content from the program itself, its obvious attempts at indoctrinating kids into a cult that was only ever going to harm them, the real-life people behind the characters, and the fact that this propaganda was so effective, I have no doubt that Life with Grandpa is the darkest children's show that I've ever come across.
Yeah, it really is.
Though shockingly, there's somehow one more layer to the story that makes this program even more disturbing.
What could be more disturbing than that?
And now, here's the exciting ending to this story.
One thing that we haven't discussed yet is who was actually the one behind the creation of the show. There's no doubt that it's David Berg's stories and was probably done at his request, but who is the one actually making it? Well, unfortunately, most of the people who worked on the show have their identities hidden by only using their first names, or even using straight up aliases, so I could hardly find any information on any of them, with the exception
Kroger,
of one,
the lion.
Peter Puppet. Peter Puppet was sort of a celebrity within the group, being responsible for numerous puppet shows, including one called The Lovettes, which was actually far more popular than Life with Grandpa, and was even supposedly broadcast on TV in the Philippines, with the show being a disturbing rabbit hole in its own right.
Would you like to hear a story? Well then, let's go see Grandpa in the garden.
Hello, children. So nice of you to visit us in the garden today.
But Peter Puppet owned this group and was in charge of the Lovettes team,
you know?
and coincidentally, the Lovettes just so happened to be credited as the producers of Life with Grandpa. So Peter Puppet was, at the very least, one of the contributing creators of the show. And he also seems to be the one in charge of performing the actual musical numbers on the show, as they featured puppets that belonged to Peter and the Lovettes team, with these segments interestingly being credited to an unknown man named Peter Pioneer.
We have a beautiful song from Peter Pioneer.
It's not a concrete link, but it's clear that Peter Puppet had a role in the show's creation, and helped push the family's disturbed ideology onto hundreds of kids across the globe. But during the creation of Life with Grandpa, it seems his own beliefs were being tested. In the beginning of the video, we saw an example of the family's view on doctors.
Surely a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles. Praise the Lord.
This sentiment was really common in the family, as Berg outright forbade any medicine or surgeries of any kind, instead preaching that miracles from God were the only way to heal. And because of this, many members of the family with chronic ailments or fatal illnesses were basically left to die. And one of those left suffering
Basic is one of the
was
games
Peter Puppet.
I kind of plan to play.
His life is almost entirely a mystery, as he lived in hiding in one of the family's compounds, but according to some of the group's members, one day he noticed something in his neck, a small lump, and over the next few weeks and months it began to slowly get bigger and bigger, to the point that Peter had to go visit a doctor in order to see what was wrong. And it was there he learned that inside of him was an aggressive tumor that was only going to get larger. The good news was the tumor was actually operable and could be removed with little risk to his life, but the bad news was surgeries were against the family's beliefs. And so he turned it down, instead opting to go back to the compound to pray the tumor away with the other members. This, however, never happened. Instead, the mass began to grow at an even faster rate, to the point that those around him could notice it, eventually leading to Peter hiding away in his room, away from the others, not wanting to be seen. However, at some point during his struggle, a photograph was taken, showing the entire compound he was living with. And in the background, we see Peter, whose neck is impossibly large.
God.
From here,
Oh my God. You're telling me that they don't want you to do surgery to get rid of the tumor in your neck, and you telling me you decided to say, okay, hey, I'm not going to get the tumor because, the family says no. They say no to, surgeries that could save my life. No, we say no to that. Instead of you going to the hospital and getting surgery on, we say pray. Pray for it to go away, and it shall go away. If it hasn't gone away, then that means you're not praying hard enough, good sir. And look at the result. And he's smiling too. Nah, man.
It's said that Peter began to beg the family to take him to get the surgery, as the tumor was quite literally suffocating him slowly, turning him against the very beliefs that he once forced upon so many children over the years. But the family forbade it, insisting that he wait for a miracle that was never going to come.
Wait for a miracle.
With nowhere else to turn, Peter Puppet supposedly ended his own life shortly after this photograph was taken, adding the final pillar of context to Life with Grandpa, a program that can only be described as the darkest children's show ever created.
We've got to go now. Let's wave bye-bye, kids. God bless you. Come on, say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You're kidding me.
For many a year, driven by hunger and filled with fear.
That man had to go, and I'm glad he's dead and gone. He died of natural causes in 1994 at the age of 75. He was never convicted of a single crime. Karen continues her husband's legacy by leading the family to this day. She has not been photographed or seen publicly since 2010. Sarah Kelly left the family and went into hiding. She was last seen living in Costa Rica in 2018, working with Seeds of Hope, a charity specializing in helping vulnerable women and children. Upon learning of her residency, Seeds of Hope severed ties with her, and she has never been seen again. Wow. You know how ironic that is? Techie would later speak out against what her brother did, claiming that no abuse ever took place and that Ricky was simply disturbed. She remains with the family to this day. Due to the statute of limitations, the many victims of the family will likely never receive the justice they deserve. That's wow. The family continues its operation with strict rules against the abuse of children. However, they have never disavowed David Berg's teachings. Are you serious? Yo, chat, can you imagine to this day that these people still exist? The family still exists, and they're still... Oh my God. It's like, who can you trust? Who can you trust knowing that after watching something like this? Now, I could say that, okay, this could be fake, but they got the years, they got the name, they got the faces, and it's like a history video of the darkest times in history. This is one of the darkest times in history. I did not think it would be this dark. I did not think it would be this freaking dark to where the darkest kids TV show ever made. I'm like, okay, so what? Like, kids getting kidnapped or something, or kids being like abused or something. But I did not think it would be like this, where David Berg, aka the Rape Claws, aka the God of pedophiles, this man. So let me throw this out real quick. So after watching this, and I want to get a brief, short information. So at the age of 50, he started raping kids. He just started so he was a pastor or a pope or whatever. And you know what? Since I'm 50 years old, I have a dream. I have a dream of raping children. So I'm gonna create a cult. I'm gonna make it to where Teletubbies or something, and I'm gonna put some words in there just to make it seem like it's no big deal or anything, and make it to where like okay like the children's shows, right? Like what children's show have you seen back then? Let's say Barney, Sesame Street, Teletubbies, Clifford the dog or something, the big red dog. Let's say children's shows like that. I'm talking about like children, like infant level children's shows. You would think that it's not to be taken seriously. It's no big deal. That was his plan. That was his idea to where making children's shows, singing kiddie songs and all that. And I know in your mind you're thinking, oh, that ain't no big deal. That ain't no big deal, right? Let your kids look at shows and they doing a musical and everything. Oh, that's no problem. Y'all go and have fun while we, go in the living room and watch TV or something, or go upstairs. You can have you know what I'm saying? But no. Seeing as how Ricky, also known as Davidito, got abused, violated, and touched every single day at the age of 5 years old. At the age of 5 years old. Now I know it said incest and everything. I'm like, okay, that got me right there. I know, yeah, suicide. Yeah, we see that all the time. That doesn't hardly faze us, right? Because we see that all the time. But seeing that it got like this, I'm thinking they kidnapping kids or something. But no, they're manipulating them. They're brainwashing them, telling them that the world's coming to an end. You need to join us, and once you join us, you're safe. But remember, rule number 1: trust and obey. Trust, like that. That was started right there. Trust and obey. They got brainwashed from a song. Trust and obey. Are you kidding me? And I mean, like. And wait, I want to go back. I want to go back real quick. What was it? Techie will later. Now I want to go back and I want to like just talk about every single one of these. So the fact that Sarah Kelly left the family and went into hiding, right? She left the family. She was part of this, part of touching kids left and right. So she left the family, went into hiding, and made a charity specializing in helping vulnerable women and children. So she left to start a new life, to make a clean state. But you was part of the family. There was no going back for you. You was part of this for God knows how long. And seeing that you didn't think to where this is wrong, shouldn't be doing this, and they even got it to where if you like question, you're out of here. Okay, I'm out of here. But it got, upon learning her true identity, the seeds of hope severed ties with her immediately, and she would never see it again. And chat, this is one of the reasons why I never have a kids, because you don't know what could be happening. The moment you leave your kid unsupervised, even in the house, your kid can watch television, boom, something like that can happen. Something like that can happen. Your kid joining a sex cult. A sex cult. And they're busy getting violated. Nah, man. That's terrible. That's terrible, y'all. I did not know it was gonna get this dark. I really did not know it was gonna get this dark, y'all. But chat, hey, listen, y'all. This was by far the darkest thing. Like chat, like for real, like when you see when you see stuff like this, what do you think? What do you think from your point of view, that you think stuff like this is real? I believe it is, because this was like a well detailed video. Got the year when it started. Got the year. I mean, my man said at the rape age of 50. You already know that's a problem. The rape age of 50, not at the age of 50, at the rape age of 50. So when he turned 50, he just started raping. Like, what? Can you imagine meeting someone that would say the damnedest things without a second thought, without being like, if you just talk to someone, right, and they say that, you know what, I feel like raping a 12-year-old. It gonna take you a while to like, what the fuck did he just say? What did you just say? And saying it smoothly like it's a normal conversation and smiling from ear to ear. What are you gonna do? How can you process that? And they call themselves a family, and he's changing his names to different alias names to cover his tracks. And the fact that he has never been caught. This man been doing this right age of 50, and I think you say he died like at 75. This man been doing this for a whole career. Bruh. He's been doing this for a whole career and not once got caught, and he died of natural causes. Are you kidding me? You know the moment they caught this, if they caught this man, bro, it would have been a guillotine. Like, well, bro, we're not sentencing you to life. We're sentencing you to death. Immediately. Like, bro, like, it's not happening like, 3-4 months later. No, it's happening tonight. Bro, it's going to be like 1,000 ways to die. We're going to really roll the fucking dice and see which one is going to be your execution. You're going to be executed, okay? Literally ASAP. Can you, what is even more mind-boggling is that the parents, you would think that, mother and father, right? And you would think that, okay, so you believe that the world's coming to an end. If I join this cult, I'll be safe. And if I keep praying to the Lord Almighty, I'm good. But remember, I gotta trust and obey. So even though, let's say, okay, your kid is part of this sex cult and your kid is getting violated, you mean to tell me you're gonna let it happen? You're gonna watch your kid get violated? Watch your kid be in part of a nude video? And not only a nude video, it's a nude video compilation where you see multiple different children within the group dancing naked while Danny Burrs is probably jacking out to it while getting intimacy with someone else's kids. Like, bro, if this isn't the definition of a villain, I don't know what is. This is like a super villain. I mean, I know villains, they blow up towns and kill people, but this is like the next level of villainy. I don't... That line, what they said in this video, that got me. That was by far the darkest thing I've ever heard, that it doesn't like matter how old you are, you're gonna have sex. You're like 11, 12, 13. It could be even younger than that. You could be in your fucking diaper. You're gonna have sex. I'm gonna teach you what sex is. You're gonna do it, and yeah, like, am I missing something, or like no one has ever caught this individual? Like, you would have thought that someone from inside the corporation would be like this is going too far. Let me like I don't know, whisper to like a cop or something. I don't know, a letter or something to where there's a cult in this city. Here's the directions. Here's the name. Here's the face, and here's where this person lives. Boom. Unknown. I'm not even gonna put my name or anything. Just know that, hey, you need to read this and you need to like shoot this individual as soon as possible. Cause I'm telling you right now, he's gonna lie in your face. But I'm telling you right now, he's violating kids. It show in the program, right? Showing the show, oh, he's spending time with the kids and all that, right? But behind closed doors, I'm not even gonna jump into that situation. You already know. You already know from watching this video. You already know what he's doing. And they taking turns. The parents are enjoying your parents are not only part of it, but they are enjoying it. Because for some reason, deep in their mind, it's like, the world's coming to an end, so I guess I got no choice but to let our kid get violated by, the rape clause. So, oh well, whatever. At least I know, as long as I still pray and I'm in the family, I'll still live once the world gets destroyed. Like, nah, man. That gave me a headache. I want to read more about this. I want to read more about this. I want to, knowing that this individual right here, David Berg, died of natural cause in 1994 at the age of 75. He's been raping kids for 25 years. Remember, at the rape age of 50, 75, he was never convicted of a single crime. Karen continues her husband's legacy by leading the family. She has not been photographed or seen publicly. Like, it's almost like she was doing plastic surgery or something, y'all. But I'm done talking about it. You already got my opinion. You already got my review on it. I don't blame Ricky. All right, he did what he had to do, and I mean, this man had so many torture devices to where the moment I get him, I'm about to torture them. Y'all, you tortured me for years when I was an infant, so I'm gonna get you back. But, chat, I hope y'all. I can't even say I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I can't say that. I'm not. No. I'm just gonna say that's it for this video. Okay, that is it for this video. I'm gonna let y'all know this right now that on my Twitch and Kick, I'm planning on finishing Black Myth Wukong. Now, there are some other games I do tend to play, but I'm so focused on finishing that. And I might play a different game this weekend, but by Friday, I should be finished with Black Myth Wukong, though. But chat, hey, I will say this, stay tuned. But this video here got me intrigued to watch other like disturbing things that I'm almost curious to know about. So if y'all want to stay tuned for it, stay the buttons down below and get ready for more dark and or disturbing video. But my God, man, my God, that. If this was fake, this was the damnedest good job of making it look real. Because, man, it didn't even almost look fake to me, honestly. But they did a good job. But chat, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to be streaming, like, my game in the evening and everything. Now, in the morning time, I'm going to be streaming, like, reactions, alright? I'm going to be doing that. Now, back then I was doing, like, streaming shows and movies and all that, but now I'm going to be focusing to reactions because there's a lot of reactions that I plan to react to, okay? So, morning time, if I had to say, maybe like 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock a.m., and if I stream the game, might be at 4 p.m., so it's going to be pretty much in the morning, and it's going to be in the evening. Now, it's optional. I might stream at noon time, but I am doing other videos, so it might, like I said, morning, evening. So, if you see me in noon time, then you see me. But if not, hey, you're going to see me in the evening. But, yeah, just know you're going to see me stream reactions and gaming majorly. Like, just straight up, like, almost every day. But, chat, also, I'm gonna let y'all know this real quick before I go, that, I'm gonna I'm gonna do like a little finale for my creepy or silly series and everything. I'm just gonna just pretty much do like a one season and that's it. Cause I'm gonna be jumping into the Backroom series. These types like actual legit creepy fucking videos. Like this right here is legitimately creepy. Short, scary, like short horror films, yeah, sure, but majority of the time to me it's kind of like funny to me. But this right here, this gave me a fucking headache. I legit got a headache from this, and just seeing someone who looked like Santa Claus. I'm telling you right now, if any of us would have saw him, would have just straight up just do like a whole anime technique. Would have just Kamehameha him into nothing but dust. But chat, I hope y'all have a good day. Christmas is around the corner, so hey, get ready for the holidays. I'm gonna do some holiday reactions and everything, but just know, like around, like say on Christmas Day, I'm gonna stream like a Christmas video. Might be a scary one, but still, I'm gonna do a Christmas video just to celebrate the holidays along with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you gonna see me quite a bit. You're gonna see me quite a bit. I'm still trying to make it work and everything to where I stream every day. But yeah, hey, hope you have a good day. All right. Hope you have a good day, y'all. All right. Stay safe out there too. I mean, I'm dead serious. Stay safe out there. I'm so serious. I've never been so serious when I say that, but I mean, from watching this, like, bro, you just don't know. It's getting more dangerous by the minute right now, man. Just from watching this, it's like, bro, I'm not gonna tell you don't have kids. That is totally up to you. But for the safe side, adopt a pet, a dog, a cat, a koala, an alligator. I don't care. Adopt a pet and name that pet your son or daughter, okay? Because getting kids, man, no, man, no. If this does not tell you I'm not getting kids, I don't know what will. But chat, hey, y'all have a good day and stay safe, especially when like around holidays too. But of course, you already know. Out. Seriously. Out. I got a headache.